You with Matchday on BBC Radio Suffolk. It is back to Portman Road with kick-off just moments away. Watching Ipswich Town versus Portsmouth in the Championship this afternoon. A former Town captain, Mick Mills, alongside Brenna Woolley.
Let's just hope we get the full 90 minutes this week as Town belatedly get the chance to build on their 5-0 win over Sheffield United here just over a fortnight ago, although it does feel a lot longer given last week's shenanigans up at Blackburn. On paper it's a game the Blues should be winning if they want to be up there, while Pompey have 2 more points than Ipswich and certainly won't be a pushover. They don't look like a side that's capable of being contenders in the long run, and as such do need to be dealt with, and it would be nice to head into a certain game here a week tomorrow targeting a 3rd successive home win. Derby talk can wait though. Mick, in terms of the here and now, that's right, isn't it? Town really need to be winning games like this.
I don't know about the like this, you know. I think that sort of doesn't do Portsmouth any favours, but whoever they play at this present moment in time, they've got to start not just beating them, but playing well against them and showing some sort of form, you know. I think that's the thing that's been missing. The results have been missing, but also that form that we had when we came up through the divisions. I thought that the continuity in the team, it was very good. The togetherness was excellent. The passing, everything about the teams coming up was really good. And then we had that season in the Premier League where we lost, you know, so much, you know, that you look for in a team. When we came down, we thought that we were just going to pick it up automatically. But I do blame the amount of changes, you know, for that, because I didn't think it was necessary to make that amount of changes. So not only have we got to get our form and our game back, we've also got to get this group of players playing as a team, you know, and until we do that, I don't think we'll have consistent results. So let's hope that, you know, we said this with Sheffield United, let's hope we start with that game. Now we're coming to another game a fortnight later and we're saying the same thing. Let's hope we start today. There's no reason why we shouldn't. You know, the only advantage I think that we've got from having a slow start this season is that I'm not sure that there's going to be anybody in the division that will reach 90 points. So I think the target this season's going to be lower, and obviously that does the likes of ourselves a favour. So, but we've made changes today. Let's hope we gel as a team.
2 teams out in front of us, glorious autumnal sunshine here at Portman Road, so at 99.9% certain we will see this one through to the full-time whistle. Conditions so different to what we experienced in Lancashire 7 days ago. As the 2 sets of players, Pat Palms crossing the halfway line, Town in blue, white, blue, Portsmouth in white, blue, white, so white shirts for visitors, blue shorts and white socks. Numerous changes as well from both managers. In terms of Kieran McKenna, no Jacob Greaves, he's banned for 1 game, so likely to return at Ashton Gate on Tuesday. His place goes to Cedric Kipre, making his full league debut. It's also full league debut for Sindra Waller-Eggerly on the right-hand side of Ipswich Town's attacking 3. Casey McAteer dropped to the bench. So too does Chuba Akpom. Sam Smodix returns to Ipswich Town starting 11. So Palmer is in goal. There's a back 4, Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and Davis. Davis the only survivor from the last team to start in Ipswich Town versus Portsmouth game. Still as a pair in midfield, Matusiwa and Kayuste. I wonder whether Nunez will make his first start on Tuesday. The 3 are Waller-Eggerly, Schmodix and Philogene in behind Hurst. On the bench, Walton, Clark, McAteer, Akpom, Azon, Taylor, Young, Nunez and Johnson. So no Humphreys or Baggett. A couple of right backs on the bench. Interesting choice from Kieran McKenna. Well, John Mousinho, first time he's faced Ipswich Town as a manager. The man in charge of Portsmouth has made 5 alterations. 1 of them, actually 2 of them forced upon him. Connor Chaplin, of course, ineligible to play against his parent club. And Connor Shaughnessy is out with an injury. Killip, Bianchini and Swift also drop out from the side that suffered that surprise 2-0 loss to Sheffield Wednesday, at Fratton Park a week ago. Bursick comes in goal. Knight, LaRue, Koznovsky and Minhyuk are also added to the team. So Bursick in goal. The back 4 of Swanson, Poole, Knight and Ogilvie. Dazelle back at Portman Road will sit alongside the South African LaRue. Then you've got a 3 of Koznovsky, Segicic in the middle and Minhyuk. And it's Colby Bishop, their captain. former Accrington striker who leads the line for the visitors. On the bench, Killip, who has been playing in goal of late, Williams, Devlin, Matthews, Boat, Hack, Swift, Bianchini and Kirk. Ipswich Town in their huddle off to our left-hand side, so defending the north stand in this first half, kicking from left to right as we sit here from our vantage point at Portman Road. Town trying to make it back-to-back wins, building finally on that success over Sheffield United, 15 days ago now. Smodics, the Republic of Ireland international, repositions the ball on the centre spot. Referee this afternoon is Andrew Kitchen, did the Birmingham draw at St Andrews on the opening night. Blows his whistle for the first time. The ball's back with O'Shea, the skipper, who belts it long down the park. The huddle of bodies challenge for that first aerial battle, scooped up and away by Pull. Town having to do some defending, and it's Furlong coming in field to do it. Ball's been up in the air an awful lot in this first 15 seconds of the match. Cedric Kipre will see it out at left back over in the far left corner. That's a throw-in to Leif Davis, who spoke as well as ever in conversation with Harvey Bell earlier on match day. The Geordie has the ball above his head in that bright sunshine. Far side, lovely conditions for this game of football. Ball given away by Ipswich Town. One back by Matusiwa with his orange boots on. He runs towards the middle third, loses out to LaRue. It's part of that axis with Dazelle. Here is Dazelle. It's 240th career appearance, Andre Dazelle. He scored his Ipswich Town debut like his dad as a 16-year-old at Sheffield Wednesday many moons ago. It's had a good season so far. Here in all black is Bursic, former England under-21 international goalkeeper, came in from Belgian football this summer, once of Stoke. Dazelle battles for the ball, but is belted forward by Pull, playing as the left-sided centre-half, Knight to his right. And the ball's gone along to Alex Palmer, an early touch for the Ipswich Town goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a nice slow start to the game. It gives us a chance to sort of have a look at it, you know, rather than a real rapid game that we had in the last one.
Poor from Kipre, giving the ball away. Segicic with a spin inside the Ipswich Town area, couldn't get it fully under control, and it's back with Palmer. It was a mistake from Kipre. And the ball straight to Koznovsky.
That's the second time he's been involved, and the second time he's really looked a bit untidy and not, you know, on the same wavelength as people around him.
Well, four of this back five of Ipswich Town, if you include the man on the ball now, Palmer, all played together at West Brom. Just really needed Connor Townsend to complete that five. Still out injured, of course. Townsend, won't see him this season, or highly unlikely to. Real shame for the lad. Here is O'Shea. West Brom drawing 1-1 with Leicester last night, incidentally, in the first game of the Championship season. Good win for Coventry, 3-0 over Birmingham earlier on today. Also draws Swansea, Millwall and Wrexham Derby, both 1-1. 0-0 as O'Shea goes long, headed away by Swanson. Scored here in the trophy for Portsmouth a couple of years ago, Zach Swanson. Also played here for Arsenal's under-21s in that competition earlier on in his career. Dazelle back to Bursic, closed down by Hurst, cleared away left-footed by Bursic, brought down by Ogilvie on the near side. I always think he's a decent player, Ogilvie. He's lost the ball under illegal pressure from Walla Eggerly. Free kick underneath us to Pompey.
Well, the goalkeeper momentarily got himself out of trouble with a really good left-footed ball to this touchline. Then the left-back did very well, and then he's won himself a free kick there because Eggerly was a little bit too aggressive.
It's going to be interesting, that battle between Ogilvie, who, as I say, I've always liked as a player, once of Tottenham as a kid, and Eggerly on his debut, or full debut. Bursic slams the ball diagonally to the far side, won by the head of Davis, nodded down by the 16 LaRue. Back it goes to centre-half, and Knight, former colleague of Sam Smodics at Peterborough, so they know each other's game really well. Left-footed long from Bursic, one in the air by Kipre. Did look nervy early on, Kipre. Segicic, the Australian, loses out to Philogene. Philogene goes back to Palmer. We're still goalless 4 minutes in on BBC Radio Suffolk. Down on 6 points after their 5 games so far. Pompey on 8. Obviously haven't played a game more, as everybody in the Championship has, bar Blackburn Rovers. This is just Town's 6th game of the season. Games 7 and 8 followed very quickly. It's really interesting. 3 3 games over the next 8 days for Ipswich Town. Nice play from Matusiwa. Lovely spin from Kayuste. Philogene wide left, now inside the Portsmouth area. This could be problematic for the visitors. Philogene stands on the ball, 2 players in the way, still has it. Twisting and turning, now goes outside the area, dinks it in, took a deflection. Hurst tries to bring it down, recycled into the area by Furlong, headed away by Swanson. Good pressure from Ipswich Town, which is kept up by Kayuste. Leif Davis back towards Kipre. Kipre back to the far side underneath the Portsmouth fans. Davis down the line to Kayuste. Back it goes to the left back. Little ball into the box to give the runner Smodix. Headed away eventually by Knight. Chested down by Kayuste. In comes his cross. Headed up by Pull. Back header as Furlong flies into the challenge on Min Hyuk. And he's been penalised. Furlong, free kick to the visitors.
Yeah, we've got ourselves going because of the lovely combination play between Matasua and Kajus. That was good. And all of a sudden, just one bit of good play meant everybody all of a sudden had a bit of bounce about them and a bit of confidence about them, and it produced a couple of nice attacks. An unnecessary free kick from Furlong, though, when that ball came out, because if he hadn't have done it, I think we would have kept the pressure on.
Bursic, the man in black, left-footed, goes out to the far side. Kipre sees it out for a throw to Leif Davis. If it forms anything to go by, we're not expecting a glut of goals here this afternoon. Portsmouth in their games so far have those games, 6 of them generated the lowest number in the division, just the 9 goals, 4 scored, 5 conceded. Matusiwa, poor touch from him, taken off of him by LaRue. Back to the centre circle, and Pull, who came in from Lincoln, once of Manchester United. They lost incidentally at Brentford in the Premier League at lunchtime, 3-1 to the Bees. Here's Segacic, robbed by Kayuste. Excellent work from the Swede, being held back. He's had a good start to this game. Kayuste taken on all comers, eventually goes down. The referee tried to play the advantage. It's going to be a foul on Kayuste and a very early yellow card for Andre Dazal.
Yeah, it was an early one. I think Andre sort of pretty much deliberately sort of brought him down, stopped him from progressing, but I don't think it was in an area that warranted a yellow card. But he's got one, so he'll have to be very, very careful from now on.
He still started this game well. Kipre forward towards Philogene. He's going to go after it, so too will Knight, the centre half. Philogene kicks the ball in play, did well, but it's Swanson to hook it up to the halfway line. Bishop battling with O'Shea. Kipre turns it back towards Palmer. And on BBC Radio Suffolk, after exactly 7 minutes, we're still waiting for our first goal of the afternoon. Good stuff from Town. Cedric, Kipre up towards Leif Davis on the far side. Infield, George Hurst has a brief involvement. Back now just north of the centre circle again with the big man Kipre. Real strong, imposing unit. Certainly won't be bullied, Kipre and O'Shea, by Bishop. Davis tries to play it down the line. Cannons off a Pompey player. Forward from Kipre to Matusiwa. He measures a pass to Smodix. In comes Min Hyuk, who goes to ground the South Korean, battling with Smodix. The two of them consider squaring up, but it dies down as soon as it sparked up, really, that little spat. And it's a free kick to Portsmouth, though.
Yeah, we're starting to sort of get a little bit of control on the ball, and for a moment I'm thinking we're still losing that ball from centre half to the centre of midfield, but you know, whilst I was thinking it, the centre half got the ball and shoved a lovely ball into the centre of midfield. So, you know, it is there if we want to play it.
Most of the action's been on the far side, Ipswich Town's left. Yet to see Egley with the ball at his feet underneath us. Ball's out again on that far side, so once more it's Leif Davis who's had the ball in his hands more than Egley's had it at his feet so far. He throws it up to the halfway line. Hurst tries to lay it off for Smodix. Portsmouth outnumber Ipswich Town in that area, and Dazal goes back to his goalkeeper. Finished 16th last season, their first back at this level. Portsmouth, after winning the League One title the previous year. Ogilvie, infield to Dazal, who skips away from Matusiwa, gives it to Min Hyuk down the left-hand side. One of those 5 changes for Portsmouth. Infield from Min Hyuk, behind Dazal, straight at O'Shea, so thank you very much. Here is Egley on the ball, controls it, goes back to his fullback Furlong. Furlong pings it up towards Hurst. Hurst doesn't get a touch, Kayuste does. He can carry it on for Ipswich Town. Jens Kayuste, the number 12. Lovely play yet again from him. Philogene outside the area, has a go and scores a beauty! Everything he touches turns to gold. What a purple patch for Jayden Philogene. He pinged that one right-footed off the corner of the post off to our right-hand side, and it's nestled in the net to give Ipswich Town a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, it's an excellent goal. It's a carbon copy again of what we saw against Sheffield United. You've got the ball going out to Jayden Philogene. We know what he's going to do, but obviously Portsmouth didn't watch the Sheffield United game. Leif Davis goes on, an overlap. They're a little bit concerned with Leif. They allow Jayden to step inside, and that's what he does to you if you allow him to come inside. When will people ever learn?
Lovely goal yet again for Jayden Philogene, obviously his 4th of the season, and now 4 in back-to-back games as well for him. There's a Dazelle on the centre stop for Portsmouth, gives it back towards Bursick. He just goes long from right to left. O'Shea can either head it away, or he's done the right thing, duck under it. That was the other option, and allow it to go through to Alex Palmer. Ideal start for Ipswich Town, 1-0 up after 10.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's a wonderful start. It's exactly what you would want them to do. That they were just starting, or early in the game, they were just finding it difficult to get control of the ball. They started to do that, and they got a goal from that good, consistent play. So that's all you want, and now you need Town to go on from here.
It's a heck of a show, Real, when you consider these 4 goals that Philogene's got, really. Excellent finishes, all of them. Town playing it around at the back. Palmer finds Matthew Siwa. He can drive forward to the centre of the Ipswich half, then give it to Kayuste, crossing the halfway line, really enjoying himself in the sunshine. Kayuste, it's been a brilliant run. Is there an end product? Smodics inside the box. Flag's gone up near side, it won't count. It's a free kick to Portsmouth. Again, lovely break from Ipswich Town, and once again, Kayuste at the heart of it.
Yeah, Kayuste has really started well. That's what he can do. He can sort of be facing his own goal 1 minute. He can allow, the ball almost just runs past him without him actually controlling the ball. That's how Trevor Brookin used to play all those years ago. And then he's up and running. He's now facing the way he wants to go. And then I don't think the ball was really intended for Sammy Smodics. I think Sammy was just making a decoy run, and we were unlucky really not to get something from it.
Yeah, he's looking at the business. Kayuste here at the South End. It's great to see a central midfielder like that running with the ball through the centre of the pitch. Really enjoys doing it and does it ever so well. Causes all sorts of problems, and of course he's up against an opponent in Dazelle who really has to watch his step for 80 odd minutes worth of football now. The ball's at the back with O'Shea. Town leading 1-0 on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ball in field towards Kayuste. Controls it, holds off LaRue, and then goes to ground. It's a free kick for that foul on Kayuste, who Portsmouth just can't deal with at the moment.
No, they've got to sort that out, Portsmouth, in there. We've got 3 midfield players. If you call Sammy Smodics a midfield player, they've got the same shape, the same 3 in there, but they're not going man for man, and that's their problem. And you give Kayuste enough space and he'll murder you. Here
is Kipre, going square just outside his area to Dara O'Shea. Big paw from O'Shea. Minhyuk on the ball for Portsmouth, gliding out wide left, little ball into the Ipswich area. O'Shea atones for the error by playing it out to Egley. His first time layoff finds Smodics. Egley, the number 8 near side, is back on the ball. He runs into traffic, and Dazelle doing a lot of work in midfield for Portsmouth. Ogilvie back to Poole. Poole goes from shade to sunlight with that square pass, finding Knight. Swanson closed down, loses the ball, gets it back though off of Knight, over the top for Kosnovsky to chase, but Palmer, sweeper keeper, quickly out of his area, nods it down for Leif Davis. Davis to Kayuste, stretches, gives it to the goal scorer Philogene, tries a little back heel down the line. It's gone out of play directly off of it, but too fancy that from Philogene.
Yeah, Portsmouth are sort of playing with good intentions. They're trying to play sort of intricate, clever football, but I'm not sure whether their ability goes to that level that they want to play at. So they've got to be very careful in this game.
Through on the far side from Swanson, headed forward by Kipre. Portsmouth have it again with their number 22, Zach Swanson. Dazelle gives it away, trying to be overly ambitious, intercepted by Smodics. Hurst is on the ball. Those two are outnumbered by 4 defenders. Dazelle certainly can't do anything to impede Hurst. Just had to run alongside him and try and put him off as much as anything before the cavalry eventually arrive, which they do. It's Bursick who smacks the ball up in the air. Furlong with a little cushioned header down. It's a good one to Egley. Egley over the top. Smolix goes down off the ball in a collision with Poole. Referee says he got a good view, nothing doing, so Bursick can carry on. Kieran McKenna's furious, speaking to the fourth official.
Yeah, I think it was a foul on Sammy Smolix, but I think the referee was concerned that the ball actually went a long way from where he was making the run, so didn't want to give the foul.
Here is Segacic, 21-year-old Australian who arrived in the summer. Matthew Siwa finds Smolix, who goes back to Kipre. Kipre can bring it out from the back, the number 4. Rolls it out to the far side. Philogene, the only goal scorer so far. Philogene plays it to Leif Davis wide left outside the area. First time cross towards the far post. Egley's there, so to Ogilvie. Town of the first corner of the game after 15 minutes.
Well, both teams are trying to play sort of a sharp, quick passing game, but Portsmouth are unable to do it. They're really struggling. They're making mistakes. They're putting themselves in trouble, whereas Town are actually doing it really well. They're playing sort of 2/3 touch football, and their control and passing and movement is pretty good.
Leif Davis has wandered the width of Portman Road to take this corner kick, the first of this championship match, next to the tunnel off to our right hand side. His side 1-0 ahead against Portsmouth here this afternoon. Mr. Kitchen, the referee, just doing a bit of organising inside Bursick's 6-yard area. So Davis just waits, bides his time. Seems to be a chat involving that Furlong on the line, being marked by LaRue by the looks of things. Yeah, it is, the number 19 now visible. Corner kick to Ipswich, already a goal to the good. Leif Davis puts his right hand in the air, that's the signal. Left-footed into the mix, headed off the near post well by the defender. LaRue out as far as Philogene. Philogene hits it on his left foot, off target.
Yeah, I thought the corner in was a really good one, and Portsmouth defended it well from inside their own 6-yard box, and it was then that maybe we should have done better when it came out to Matazua. He swiped at the ball and didn't do anything with it, and then Kajus was over elaborate and his shot wasn't very good, but the initial corner going into the 6-yard box was good. It had accuracy and it had pace.
17 minutes gone. McMills alongside me at Portman Road, as he will be next Sunday. Norwich City come here on air from 11, the first East Anglian derby of the season. As per usual nowadays, it's a 12 o'clock kickoff. You won't miss any moment of the action, as Palmer has the ball on his penalty spot off to our left-hand side. Philogene's already scored for Ipswich Town, if you're joining us 17 minutes in. Town have got Kipre, Egley and Smolix back in the side for Greaves, Akpom and McAteer and Akpom on the bench down below us. Greaves serving a 1-match ban. Here is O'Shea to Furlong. Furlong plays the ball down the right flank for Smolix, who's made a good run. Can he keep it in? He plays it into the area. Hurst with an air shot pretty much heading towards the near post. Philogene goes down behind right back. No foul, says the referee. Swanson can bring the ball away, but that was a chance for George Hurst there.
Yeah, definite chance. I think the Portsmouth defenders thought it was going out over the byline, but Egley decided no, it wasn't, and his ball in was a good one. It was a dangerous one, and George Hurst probably should have done better.
Maybe took his eye off the ball. Kiyuste to Philogene in front of the Portsmouth fans, taking on Swanson, giving him a torrid time. Philogene still has the ball. Swanson did well in the end, cleared the ball out and is applauded by the Pompey faithful. I understand Ray Crawford is here, incidentally, watching this game. Obviously, Ray's two great loves in football, Portsmouth and Ipswich Town.
Yeah, he's been heavily involved at both football clubs, and he still loves both football clubs as well.
And he's so passionate about his football. Jens Kiyuste with this throw-in for Ipswich Town. 1-0 they lead in the 19th minute. Ogilvie heads it away above the Ipswich Town player O'Shea, who went to ground. Play continues with Matthew Siwa overhitting that ball for Furlong, but kept in near side by Egeli. Egeli left-footed, goes to the far side. Kiyuste, terrific ball by the Norwegian, beautifully brought down by the Swede Kiyuste. Gets inside the area, has a go towards the near post. Well, he might. Just narrowly off target though.
Well, the ball from Egeli was superb. Terrific crossfield ball, found the target, lovely. And then as soon as you saw Leif Davis set off on his overlap run, you knew that they were going to have to worry about him. And Philogene was just going to step inside and have another shot. So our left-hand side is very consistent, very good. And you just wonder why the opposition don't do something about it.
Foul on Pull by Hurst. Bit of a soft one, really. The referee has blown up. Pull over this free kick now for Portsmouth, who had a terrific home record last season. 11 of their 14 wins last season were at Fratton Park. I mean, Sunderland got promoted with only 12 home wins, so that was definitely promotion form at home, but the 3 away wins tells you all you need as to why they finished 16th in the table. But they started well away from home this season. Draws at both West Brom and Southampton. Good results for them. Long ball forward from the keeper Bursic. Kipre being impeded. Gets the header back to Davis. Palmer's clearance goes off the back of Segacic's head, and he's gone down. He'll require a little break in proceedings to make sure that he's okay. Leif Davis is first on the scene to check on him and make sure the Australian's all right, as the physio for Portsmouth comes on. He's better qualified to just make sure that he's absolutely okay, Segacic.
Well, the physio's got no pace at all.
No, he didn't have. I was thinking the same thing. Hopefully Segacic is okay. He's back up on his feet. A little break in play, and Town have started well, haven't they, Mick?
Yeah, this is good. You know, I mean, you know, if you go back to the Sheffield United game, we sort of got ourselves in front with a similar type of goal, and you know, you were still worried. You know, you thought you saw something in Sheffield United that suggested that maybe the game is still going to be difficult. I haven't got that sort of thought or feeling at all today. I think we're in charge of the game. We're a goal in front, and I'm looking down at Portsmouth and I'm thinking, well, what have you got? And to be perfectly honest, I don't see very much at all.
Kieran McKenna in the ear of the fourth official and also the assistant on this here, so Alex Chilovich, an American, is the fourth official. His side lead 1-0. Kipre carrying the ball to the halfway line. Crossfield he goes. Ogilvy's going to challenge Egeli. Egeli, who's taller than Ogilvy. Ogilvy still wins that battle. Forward it goes towards Bishop. Bishop against O'Shea. Needs support, the Portsmouth captain. Brings it down, but Matusiwa gets there ahead of Minhyuk. He goes back to Furlong, who in turn just pushes the ball back in the direction of Palmer. Palmer wants to take on Bishop. Bypasses him with the ball out to the edge of the box, and Dara O'Shea. Egeli hugging this near touchline, the Ipswich Town right, looking for the ball. Furlong is there and gives it to the teenage Norwegian, only 19, Sindre-Waller Egeli. Block challenge from Ogilvy, then given away by Furlong, well intercepted by Dozell. Dozell trying to play it around the back for Segacic. O'Shea cuts out that route to goal. Palmer then plays it out to Davis. The idea was right from Dozell, just not enough power on the ball to swing it in behind O'Shea.
Yeah, not quite enough pace on it. You know, the actual ball was a good one, worth a try, and it almost beat Dara O'Shea. I think Alex Palmer's got to just liven up a little bit. He's just made 2 or 3 sort of errors with the ball at his feet, and that's something we do not want. You know, we don't want to give Portsmouth a chance to come back in the game.
Quarter of this championship match gone. So far so good for Ipswich Town, who lead Portsmouth 1-0. Matusiwa gets the ball from Kipre. Out on the left hand side, lovely ball from the Dutchman. Davis first time into the box, headed down and behind by Swanson. Again, nice play from the home team.
Well, that's Leif Davis. Matusiwa, by the way, did exceptionally well there. His control and pass was excellent. Leif Davis on a run, and every time he's running, I'm looking down and thinking, where is Sergeric, the guy that he's playing against? Doesn't he ever think that sometimes he has to do some defending?
Yeah, he's getting back to his best, if not already there, Leif Davis. It's been eye-catching, these last 2 home games in particular. Corner kick for Ipswich Town. Philogene plays it short to Eggerly. Eggerly pulls it back to Davis. Davis first time into the area, beyond the far post, no one there. Curls out behind, goal kick to the Portsmouth.
There wasn't anybody there, but there jolly well should have been, because that ball was absolutely top class. It sort of had a lot of bend on it, plenty of pace, and it arrived just on the edge of the 6-yard box, almost opposite the far post. Absolute perfect position, but nobody really wanted to attack it.
Marcelino Nunez in particular getting a warm ovation from the north stand off to our left-hand side. Ashley Young's also out there. So to Johnson and Azon amongst the Ipswich Town subs in their yellow bibs, going for a little bit of a jog. Eggerly comes in field, tries to play crossfield ball again to Philogene. Philogene won't get on that. Crowd appreciates it though from the Norwegian. Goal kick in the end though to Bursick.
Yeah, it's a ball that's well worth searching for, but I didn't really feel that one was on, and he didn't really strike it at all well. So be selective. It's the right ball. It's something that will really damage Portsmouth, but be selective about it.
It's 3-2 here. The last time these two sides met in a League One fixture, then 2-2 at Fratton Park. It was Harness, Ladapo and Burns. The last time they met here. Colby Bishop incident got both of those. Great header on from Hurst to Smodics, goal side now, cutting into the Portsmouth area. This has to be a chance for 2-0. Still Smodics! Blocked by Bursick, and it pops up into his hands, but that was a wasted opportunity from Town.
Yeah, brilliant. You could see it sort of coming when the ball was played up to Hurst. You saw the run of Smodics. He was always going to go clear. He got himself clear. He did exactly the right thing, but when he got himself in the position to shoot, he should have gotten high into the net, not low.
LaRue, one of the 5 changes for Portsmouth. Now it's Swanson far side, clearly their first choice at right back this season. 26 on the clock. That goal from Philogene, the only one we've seen so far at Portman Road here this afternoon. I'll talk about the derby a week tomorrow, but Town have got a game at Bristol City on Tuesday night before that. Full match commentary in match night from 7. O'Shea with a header towards Sam Smodics, who had a little spell at Bristol City earlier on in his career. Didn't really work out from that one. Left-footed away from Bursick. It's over the top of Bishop, won by O'Shea. Ogilvie nods it back forward. Headed down by Bishop, but only to Eggerly of Ipswich. He finds Furlong. Furlong first time off balance, plays it up to LaRue, so he's giving the ball away. Now with Regan pulled. Square to Josh Knight. Knight gives it away. Well read by Kayuste. Now he allows Philogene to get on the ball. Back to Kayuste, far side. He lets Leif Davis have it very briefly. Swedes back in possession. Feints to play it forward to Philogene. Instead it goes back to Davis. Town keep possession with, first of all, Kipre. And now then O'Shea, bang in the centre of Portman Road. Eggerly hasn't had a good run at Ogilvie just yet. O'Shea once more. The captain finds Kipre. 18 to go in this first half. Davis comes in field with the ball, rolls it under his studs, blocked off by a challenge. Kayuste there has it. Town keeping hold of the ball at the moment. Kipre is overly ambitious. His pass looking for Davis, who'd gone into an attacking area, had too much on it. Davis bundles Swanson to the ground. It's a Portsmouth ball in front of their supporters. Yeah, it's a good performance. We're in charge of the game. There's no real threat from Portsmouth whatsoever. We've just got to make sure, if we can sort of, just try to get the second goal of the game and go in at 2-0, that would be absolutely perfect. And then I think there would be no sort of possibility of Portsmouth coming back from that scene. But whilst it's 1-0, we know in football there's always a chance. But Portsmouth are showing nothing at the moment. Well, they lost 15 of their 23 away games last season, although they're now unbeaten in the moment, and 5 away from home, having lost 11 of the previous 12, so they have clearly improved in that area. Philogene upended by Swanson. Over on the far side in the middle third, it's a free kick to Jens Kayuste, taken quickly back to O'Shea on the centre spot. Near side is Furlong, the number 19. Back he goes to his captain. He finds a little gap in midfield to find Kayuste. Kiyuste gives it to Furlong underneath us. Furlong tries to play the return, but Minhyuk blocks him off. Furlong back in field to O'Shea. Square to Kipre. He's closed down by the Hungarian Koznovski. Forward from Furlong to Smodic. Smodic's to Eggerly near side. Still has it up to the halfway line. Kiyuste's challenge. Minhyuk threads it forward to Segicic. A rare chance for Pompey to break and maybe cause some problems. Segicic inside the area, pulls his shot across the face of goal. Kept in play by Bishop. Bishop in a crossing position, hangs it up towards the far post where there's no one in white. And it goes harmlessly out for a Town throw.
Yeah, we've just got to keep the tempo going. We've got to keep the quality going. And just eliminate sort of the odd mistake or two that we're making, because that's the only really answer that Portsmouth will have is if Town gift them something.
Throw in to Ipswich behind left back. Just over a quarter of an hour to go in this first half. Town leading through Jaden Philogene 10th minute goal. It's 4th of the season. Darnell Furlong goes to ground. Town made a bit of mess of that throw-in. It's going to be a Portsmouth throw now outside the Ipswich Town area. It's very wasteful and needless from the home team to give Portsmouth a chance to get bodies forward from this throw-in. Ogilvie short towards Segicic, back to Ogilvie. First time left foot across towards the far post, nodded down but will be cleared away by Matusiwa. Up towards Hurst, but beyond him. The keeper Bursic's way out of his area. Off his left instep, he plays it forward. Matusiwa's headed down, should be kept in by Furlong on the near side, and is up against Minhyuk. He'll play it in field, a little bit scrappy from Town. Dazelle up towards Segicic, outside the Ipswich Town area. Koznovski finds Minhyuk. Minhyuk inside the box, down the left channel, goes to the byline, thinks it towards the far post. Philogene is there, it's headed down though by Swanson coming in behind him, but straight at Palmer.
Yeah, just got it wrong in both full-back positions. Furlong sort of allowed the player to go down the outside, sort of tried to get a block in that wasn't there, and then we were poor on the back post in the other full-back position.
Hurst loses the ball. Bursic has it for Portsmouth. Their goalkeeper gives it out to Poole. Better from Portsmouth. They've got some encouragement from one or two mistakes from Ipswich Town in the last couple of minutes. The ball, though, is inside their penalty area, the visitors. Bursic took a chance, just got it to Knight, comes off of Philogene, out for a throw far side. Very risky that from the Portsmouth goalkeeper. Here is Swanson, number 22, approaching 50 league starts for the club. He'll arc his back and hurl the ball towards Bishop. He nods it up towards the halfway line. In goes O'Shea. Likewise Knight, who spent last season with Hanover in Germany. O'Shea knew what he was doing as Segicic and Minhyuk were busying themselves round about him. Ogilvie down the line to Segicic, up against Furlong, comes in field, back comes Matusiwa, down goes Segicic, no free kick. The referee was in a great spot. What can Smodic do on the break? He's totally taken out by LaRue. That's going to be another yellow card in midfield for Portsmouth, and LaRue can have no complaints whatsoever as we go back to Graham.
Sheffield Wednesday leading QPR 1-0, Hull 1-up at Watford, Norwich 1-up at Stoke.
Sheffield Wednesday still continued to do ridiculously well, all things considered. Smodic's receiving a word or two from Kieran McKenna, so that's both Dazelle and LaRue on yellow cards. That would give Matusiwa and Kiyuste in particular an awful lot of encouragement to keep driving forward through the middle. Matusiwa just tying up his bootlaces. O'Shea waits before taking this free kick inside Ipswich Town's half. Trying to win back-to-back games for the first time since April-May 24, Ipswich Town. It's the last two wins of that particular season against Coventry and here against Huddersfield. Kipre, faced by Bishop, goes back to O'Shea. O'Shea, straight pass, intercepted by Poole, not good enough from Hurst. Here is Segicic, then Minhyuk in, flag stays down, great chance for 1-1, great save from Palmer, stopping the ball at the feet of Minhyuk, but that was a real opportunity for Portsmouth and a serious wake-up call for Ipswich Town.
Yeah, Furlong is starting to struggle for some reason. He's just made about 3 sort of blunders in the right back position, and they've almost managed to capitalise on it.
That was a real opportunity for Portsmouth. They played that well. Ipswich Town ball.
Excellent goalkeeping.
Yeah, he did well, Palmer. It was good for him. With Davis on this free kick far side on the halfway line. Spreads it infield to Kipre, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Ipswich Town still leading Portsmouth 1-0. Kipre. Once again, the 2 centre-halves keep possession of the ball. O'Shea goes up towards Bishop, who started his career at Notts County, Colby Bishop, and then dropped to lower levels before Accrington picked him up, and he's had a very good Portsmouth career. O'Shea to Kiyuste. Needs to get back in the game a bit more, Kiyuste. Haven't seen a great deal of him in the last 10 or 15. They certainly have a massive impact on the final 55 minutes or so, and really help take this game away from Portsmouth. Kipre towards Eggley, who's drifted in field, picked up a nice position. Kipre spotted him. Eggley still on the ball. Furlong's making a run. Lovely ball from Eggley. Finds his right back. Furlong just by the byline off to our right hand side, gets his cross in, deflected, headed away by Pull of Portsmouth. Out as far as Matthew Seaworth. Down the line from him, finding Furlong. Furlong's ball in field, comes off Bishop, but still reaches the target of O'Shea. Ipswich camped inside Pompey territory. Kipre happy to just give it to Kiyuste. Kiyuste along the grass to Philogene, the only goal scorer so far. Philogene, in comes his cross towards the far post. It swings out behind off the grass. Pompey goal kick.
Yeah, I'm just sort of looking down at the Portsmouth midfield, and the 2 holders, supposed holders of Leroux and Dazelle have both been booked, so they're in trouble. And then the other position on the right hand side, you've got the 10 Sergeric has come infield, and the 18 Kosnovic Veski has gone over to the right hand side, and none of them is sort of...
Could be a mistake from Davis. No, Palmer digs his mate out of the hole there, quickly covering the ground inside his area, because he was sold a bit short there, Palmer, by Davis. Philogene stumbling, but managed to keep stay upright just about far side, winning a throw-in for Ipswich Town. Well done, Philogene.
Yeah, I was just sort of saying, nobody seems to want to pair up with Swanson, the Portsmouth right back, so our pair down the left-hand side are often 2 against 1, and if they do allow that for the remainder of the game, they'll be in trouble.
Dazelle heads the ball forward towards Bishop. Bishop infield to Min-Hyuk. Just behind him, Dazelle will get on it wide left outside the Ipswich area. Gives it back to Ogilvie. Ogilvie infield to Leroux. The spells were all right, Portsmouth. Here is Swanson. Back towards Knight. Ipswich Town pressing forward. Now it's the left peg of Bursick that sends the ball down this left side towards Ogilvie, headed by Furlong, up against Ogilvie, out of play, throw to Portsmouth, who've got 8 minutes plus added on to get a first half equaliser.
Yeah, they're just managing to put a bit of pressure on Furlong, our right back, and he's wobbling a little bit.
Leroux and Ogilvie pass the ball between themselves a couple of times. Pull up the halfway line, finding now Knight. Knight goes through the gears, gets away from Hurst, out to the right hand side, trying to pick a pass to Kosnovsky, but Davis is back there and plays it forward to Philogene. Philogene trying to flick the header on, doesn't manage that, and Portsmouth are back in possession. Kosnovsky leaves it to Swanson, who goes back to Dazelle. Now Pull wants to take on Eggley. He's been held. Was pulled by a combination of Eggley and Smodux. Free kick to Portsmouth. The referee unhappy with the placement. It's got to be taken a good 10 yards further back. And Portsmouth on a decent little spell at the moment in this game. Tended to get Kiyuste back on the ball a bit more. Dazelle seeing plenty of it at the moment. He's got a goal so far this season, Dazelle. Now it's with Bursick. just inside his penalty area. Poor clearance from him. Kayuste to Hurst, out to the left-hand side. Philogene. Smodix was offside in the middle, wasn't involved in the move, which has now continued. Philogene has it wide left outside the Pompey area. Back to Davis, controls it with the studs of his left boot. He'll find Kipre. Now 10 white shirts are back behind the ball. Philogene happy to just play it back to his captain. O'Shea in the centre of the Portsmouth half. This square to Kipre to Kayuste. Kayuste spins away from LaRue, tries to hammer it square across the Portsmouth penalty area. Comes off a visiting defender, down at their third corner.
Yeah, he seems to be the man that's causing most of the problems for Portsmouth, apart from obviously the pairing down the left-hand side, is Kayuste. Whenever he can find a little bit of freedom, he looks a real threat.
Corner kick to Ipswich Town. 5.5 minutes of the first half to go. Philogene is on it. Right-footed delivery from the former Hull man, straight into the gloves of Bursick as George Hurst, actually it was Dara O'Shea, ended up flinging himself into the net. Early kick forward by Portsmouth. Matthew Seaver and Palmer get there ahead of Min Hyuk. Palmer's cushion pass forward is collected by Bishop. Ogilvie, first time, plays it up into an area where Bishop is normally found but wasn't on this occasion, as Eggerly challenges Min Hyuk, wins the header. Furlong loops it forward, squatting down to chest the ball as Poole comes off Eggerly, and then it's in the hands of John Mousinho, the Portsmouth head coach. He claps his players as Ogilvie gets ready to take this throw-in. Obviously still right in this game, Portsmouth at 1-0.
Yeah, because it's 1-0, they have got a little bit of a chance, and they have slightly improved, if anything, and I do feel that Town have just sort of taken their foot off the gas a little bit, which I think is silly. I think they should really look to kill the game, in this half, but they probably won't do that now.
Yeah, there's something they do. Second halves haven't been as good as first halves for Ipswich Town for a little while now. Philogene, infield to Matusiwa, wide left Davis, now inside the Portsmouth area. Square to Hurst! It's 2-0. The flag has stayed down. George Hurst taps it in from no more than half a foot out for his third of the season. And with 4 minutes of the first half to go, Ipswich Town now lead Portsmouth by 2-0.
Well, just when you think that they're not looking for a second, they get a little bit of a breakaway, and it's a superb breakaway. Leif Davis has done brilliantly. Where is the defending on that side of the pitch? George Hurst's movement in the box was absolutely top class. Leif Davis waited for that movement and then just got the ball into him. The touch into the back of the net was easy. It was the movement that was the difficult thing, and George Hurst produced it. But it's the run of Leif Davis again. Leif Davis, Philogene, left-hand side, destroying Portsmouth.
Just what Portsmouth didn't need before half-time. Ipswich Town to open up a 2-goal advantage. Play back underway with Bursick. He'll clout it long. Kipre is underneath this one. It goes over the top of him. Davis wins the header against Kosnovsky. Kipre has it at left back. Back to Davis. Davis with obviously the assist. Smodix keeps the ball in, but only for LaRue, who swings it back to Knight. After 42 minutes, Portsmouth go back to their goalkeeper trailing 2-0. Great chance for Ipswich Town to kick on and get that much needed second win of the season. There's a replacement ball on the field just as Furlong tries to take a quick throw in. Off it goes. Here is Darnell Furlong. See the full match commentary of Ipswich Town leading Portsmouth on BBC Radio Suffolk. O'Shea to Furlong. Furlong looks up, tries to find the goal scorer, the second goal scorer, Hurst. It's intercepted by a flying leg of Poole. Now Ogilvie trying to go down the line, closed down by Eggerly, who then pats palms with his manager. Ogilvie with a shaven head down below us. Can also play at centre half. Has this throw-in. Back he hurls it to Bursick. Hurst goes after him. And out to the far side, he smacks the ball. Davis heads it down into the centre circle, and Matusiwa played straight at Kosnovsky, another one of the summer arrivals at Fratton Park. Mark Kosnovsky. Swanson short towards Segicic. Davis bundles him to the ground. Free kick to Portsmouth. Quite quiet at Portman Road at the moment. Good afternoon so far for Town. Swanson goes crossfield to Ogilvie. Ogilvie heads it up towards Bishop. Bishop touches it back to Dazal. Dazal finds Poole. Smodix goes after him. Good closing down from Smodix. Knight strides forward from centre half. Tripped by Hurst. Free kick to Portsmouth as Hurst helps Knight back up to his feet. It's Swanson with this free kick, actually, and then now he's going to leave it to Koznovsky. Portsmouth have 5 players mixed in amongst that blue shirted line off to our left hand side, maybe 25 yards out that Ipswich Town defensive line. In comes the free kick to the Town area, headed away not very far by O'Shea. Ball still alive inside the Town box, not for long. The second attempt, the captain gets it away. LaRue, not a good first touch. Eggely's after him, but eventually it's headed square by Swanson. Kept in near side by Segicic. He goes away from Smodix, gets it up to Minhyuk, battling with O'Shea. Now Ogilvie infield to Segicic, who his career had trials at some big clubs. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City all looked at him. Minhyuk ball into the box. 2 minutes of added on time to be played as Philogene brings it away from left back. And Palmer first time drills the ball forward. Not the best. Controlled easily by LaRue. Swanson's on the ball for Portsmouth in their white shirts, playing from right to left for this final 90 seconds now in this first period. Trying to put a bit more respectability on the half-time scoreline. Kipre to Philogene. Skips over the challenge of LaRue, but it's a foul by the South African. And it's going to be a free kick on the far side to Ipswich Town. Be interesting to see at what point maybe now Senior thinks of a change in midfield, with Dazal and LaRue both on yellow cards. Has got some good players that can play in that area. Marlon Pack was the club captain. John Swift's a good player as well. Kipre just standing on the ball, really. Town working down the clock towards the half-time whistle, which will be greeted positively by the home crowd. Palmer out to O'Shea. O'Shea up towards Kiyuste. He can turn and face halfway. Goes crossfield to the far side and Philogene. Lovely ball from Kiyuste. Philogene on his chest gives it to Davis. Can Town get a third before half-time? He went for the pullback rather than playing it into the centre, and it was cleared out by a Portsmouth fan.
Yeah, there was no way that ball from Davis was on to Kiyuste, but I'm just looking at the space that Kiyuste had. I mean, good gracious, before he got the ball, I'm thinking, you know, will anybody sort of dare get within 12 yards of him, you know, and you just know that the ball's ultimately going to go to him, and it did.
Kiyuste with this throw, probably his last of this first half, from underneath the Portsmouth fans into the visitors area it comes, headed away by Bishop, and that will be it for the first half, and a productive first half from Ipswich Town's perspective as well. Jayden Philogene giving them a lead on 10, and then with 4 minutes and a half to go, George Hurst doubling their money, so they head down the tunnel. Kieran McKenna's men with a 2-0 advantage, McMills.
Yeah, it took a little while for the game to go. Both teams sort of had set out to play a short passing, intricate little game, you know, and it was very obvious after sort of maybe 5 or 6 minutes that there was only one team that could sort of get to that level of football, if you like. You know, Portsmouth just were playing far too much above themselves. Their ability wouldn't take them to that intricate football, but Town were doing okay. Their 2-3 touch football was good, you know. It was tight, the control was good, the passing was good, the movement was good, and it was just a question of time when things were going to develop where we could possibly completely take charge of the game, and we did that, you know. And it was where we know, everybody that comes to watch it Town play this year, we know that the left hand side is pretty good between Davis and Philogene. But I'm amazed at you know, any team can come up here, and with the amount of staff they have working behind the scenes, cannot tell their team that the danger with Ipswich is down the left-hand side. So they obviously didn't do it. There was no work been done on there. There's no ganging up done down that side. So, we just enjoyed it and just waited for it to happen, and it happened. And Philogene came in and performed his little party piece of stepping inside and putting it into the back of the net. So take the lead. We then have control of the game. There was the first thing you look at, you think, well, what have Portsmouth got to come back from this 1-0 sort of deficit? And you were sat here thinking nothing at all. There's no real threats. It's just a question of us trying to kill the game before half-time. But then there was that quiet spell where all of a sudden a few mistakes we started to make, and I thought that Furlong was as guilty as anybody in the right back position, and there was a little spell where you thought maybe Portsmouth will come back in it, but then we managed just to step up a gear, get ourselves a second goal. Again, Leif Davis got himself completely and utterly free down the left-hand side. George Hurst had to fight. He had to make 2 movements to get some space. Leif Davis had so much time on the ball, he was able to wait for that movement to be produced. He did it, George Hurst did it. Leif Davis was accurate with his ball in, and it was an easy one. 2-0 half-time score. Excellent. We're in charge of this game. The only stat that I've looked at that I would have thought, well, that might give them a little glimmer of hope. They've had 2 shots and both, in actual fact, were on target. So maybe if they get in, they're quite accurate. But I can't see them getting into those positions very many times. We just have to come out refreshed, ready to go again. And I think these points are very much in the bag.
Yeah, they certainly should be. Things looking good so far this afternoon for Ipswich Town, leading Portsmouth by 2-0.
Just looking at the other 3 o'clock kickoffs in the second tier this afternoon. Leaders Middlesbrough, a goalless away at Southampton. Norwich 1-up at Stoke. Hull ahead 1-0 at Watford. Sheffield Wednesday leading Queen's Park Rangers by a 1-0 goalless at Deepdale between Preston and Ipswich Town's opponents on Tuesday. Bristol City. It's also goalless in the match between Oxford and Sheffield United. Charlton ahead 1-0 at home to Blackburn. Earlier today, 3 lunchtime kickoffs which finish as follows. Coventry, comfortable 3-0 winners at home to Birmingham City. Swansea and Millwall drew 1-1, as did Wrexham and Derby County. In the Premier League, Brentford 3, Manchester United 1, a full-time score from the lunchtime kickoff. Half-time at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea leading Brighton by a 1-0. Leeds have got themselves back into their match with Bournemouth. It's 1-1 after Joe Rodon's leveller. Manchester City 1, Burnley 1 at the Etihad, and the leaders Liverpool trailing 1-0 at Crystal Palace this afternoon. We'll check in on our non-league games of note locally in just a moment.
Parents, Dougie has some exciting news for you and your little squirrels.
Oh, woof.
You can watch brand new episodes of Hey Dougie only on BBC iPlayer.
So many buttons.
So get ready to earn some new badges.
This is fun.
All in one safe and free place.
Ooh.
Now that is a top parenting hack. Well done, everyone. Brand new episodes of Hey Dougie. Watch now, only on BBC iPlayer.
You with Matchday. Ipswich Town 2-0 up at home to Portsmouth in our main feature this afternoon. Goals from Jayden Philogene and George Hurst, which we will bring you again before full second half commentary. In the FA Cup third round of qualifying this afternoon, I gather both our Suffolk sides are trailing. We'll check in at Needham Market and Leyson in just a moment. Let's go to Lowestoft first of all. An all-county clash in the Isthmian North Division this afternoon is being watched by Gary Button.
Half-time, Lowestoft Town 2, Brantham Athletic 1, and the Trawler boys ahead at the interval, but it's been another fixture where the Suffolk side have had to come from behind. Visitors Brantham, bottom of the table and without a league win this season, took the lead after just 6 minutes this afternoon. Their first attack, Nathan Best down the left-hand channel, cutting inside and finding an unmarked Theo Carter lurking just outside the D. The midfielder smashed home off the upright past a well-beaten Ben Self in the Lowestoft goal. However, within 8 minutes, Lowestoft were level. Ping-pong in the Brantham penalty area, Pollock, Peters and twice from Overton, all denied by a series of defensive blocks before Aaron Bullant lashed home the equaliser. And by the 20th minute, it was 2-1. George Barber with a long throw into the area, Peters flick on, and it was Bullant again, heading home 2 yards out. Another Belmar free kick saw Bullen hit the foot of the upright on 25, and Brantham keeper Dion Henry had to quickly race off his line to deny that man Bullen again in another Chorleyboy attack on the half hour. Lowestoft 2, Brantham Athletic 1.
Thank you, Gary. Also in the Isthmian North this afternoon, the leaders Felixstowe Walton United are ahead at Tilbury through a Josh Mayhew penalty. In the FA Cup third round of qualifying then will be at Needham Market in just a moment. Let's check in on Nick Garnham at Victory Road first of all, watching Leiston at home to Banbury United.
It's Leiston 0, Banbury United 2, and 2 goals in as many minutes just before half-time have put Banbury firmly in control of this tie. It was all Banbury in the opening 20 minutes, with the visitors peppering the Leiston goal. Billy Johnson made a fine tip-over save after just 4 minutes when Jonathan Lawson's effort after he cut in from the left, and 2 minutes later Connor Ferguson volleyed over the Leiston crossbar. The visitors should have gone ahead in the 10th minute when Harley Giles contrived to side foot over the bar from close range after the ball dropped invitingly to him following Ferguson's long throw from the left. Johnson tipped over Luke Stokoe's shot for a corner at his near post before Stokoe sent a free kick just wide of the other upright. Leiston started to get a foothold in the game, and Joel Rangel's low shot was kicked clear, and on the half hour a lovely crossfield pass by Ben Folkes picked out Rangel, whose low cross was almost flicked home by Adam Mills. However, the visitors got the goal they thoroughly deserved after 43 minutes when Stokoe sent over a corner from the right and was met by a powerful header by James Allaby, and although Johnson parried the ball away, Allaby followed up to head home. Banbury doubled their lead almost immediately, Ferguson cutting in from the right and shaping to shoot a cross goal before tucking the ball inside the near post. Half-time at the Watson Hillhouse Stadium, Leiston 0, Banbury United 2.
Thanks, Nick. So at Leiston trailing. Needham Market were trailing in the FA Cup, but they're now level. Let's hear from Eden Hannigan at Bloomfields.
Yeah, it's half-time here, and it's Needham Market 1, Witham Town 1. I spoke to a Needham Market fan before the match, and they said you never know what to expect from this side, but they can be fairly happy with how their team has grown into this one so far. The early possession was dominated by Witham Town, and they were rewarded with their first goal inside 4 minutes. Archie McFadden's shot from just inside the box trickled past the Needham Market goalkeeper to give the visitors a great cheer behind me. Like I said, the home side did grow into this game, though, and after the Witham Town goal, they levelled the score in about half an hour into the match. Number 9, Seth Chambers, turned the bottom left corner of the net, giving the Witham goalkeeper no chance, and he made it 1-1. It's been fairly level since those goals, though. No real clear-cut chances to report for either side since then, but Witham Town have been in such a loud voice. The Essex side have brought such a big support with them to Suffolk today, and those fans, in all honesty, might feel a bit hard done by to go in level at the break, because here at Bloomfields, it's Needham Market 1, Witham Town 1.
Thanks very much, Eden. So, Needham 1-1 in the FA Cup third round of qualifying with Witham Town. I mentioned Leiston trailing, Felixstowe Walton United ahead in the Isthmian North at Tilbury, at Lowestoft Town 2, Brantham 1 in our other featured non-league game this afternoon. Our main feature, Ipswich Town 2 up at home to Portsmouth. First half highlights on the way shortly. Had a message from Stephen and Kerry from Brandon. Solid first half. Hopefully we can push on for a perfect afternoon and finally we can start climbing the championship table. Just quickly away from football, day 2 of golf's Ryder Cup, and the Americans fighting back a little bit against Europe this afternoon. Europe now lead by 6.5 points to 3.5, but we've had, in the four balls this afternoon, DeChambeau and Young have beaten Aberg and Fitzpatrick. Henley and Scheffler all square with Hovland and McIntyre. Hatton and Rahm are 2 up in their match, and Fleetwood and McIlroy have won theirs. So Europe 6.5 to 3.5 ahead. Women's Rugby Union World Cup final between England and Canada about to get underway at Twickenham. New Zealand earlier today won the third place playoff against France by 42 points to 26. A full second half commentary from Portman Road coming up very shortly.
Furlong pings it up towards Hurst. Hurst doesn't get a touch. Kayuste does. He can carry it on for Ipswich Town. Jens Kayuste, the number 12. Lovely play yet again from him. Philogene outside the area. Has a go and scores a beauty. Everything he touches turns to gold. What a purple patch for Jaden Philogene. He pinged that one right-footed off the corner of the post off to our right-hand side and has nestled in the net to give Ipswich Town a 1-0 lead. Great header on from Hurst to Smodix, goal side, now cutting into the Portsmouth area. This has to be a chance for 2-0. Still Smodix! Blocked by Bursick and it pops up into his hands, but that was a wasted opportunity from Town. Intercepted by Poole, not good enough from Hurst. Here is Segacic, then Minjuk in, flag stays down, great chance for 1-1. Great save from Palmer, stopping the ball at the feet of Minjuk, but that was a real opportunity for Portsmouth and a serious wake-up call for Ipswich Town. Philogene, infield to Matusiwa, wide left Davis, now inside the Portsmouth area. Square to Hurst! It's 2-0, the flag has stayed down. George Hurst taps it in from no more than half a foot out for his third of the season. And with 4 minutes of the first half to go, Ipswich Town now lead Portsmouth by 2-0.
Uniform from 7-2 requesting backup immediately.
On BBC iPlayer.
Smashy, smashy, breaky, breaky. I think it's called forced entry.
Eat, sleep, police, repeat.
The Gimleys are a cancer. When they take over a town, they get everywhere.
We have an imminent, incredible threat.
The BAFTA award-winning drama returns.
He's going in and you need to get them out.
What?
Extract. Go, go, go!
What was that? It's illegal. You're very sexy when you're angry. Just gorgeous altogether.
The new series, Off Blue Lights.
Nice life.
I have a feeling it's about to get a lot more complicated.
Starts Monday night on BBC iPlayer.
Just to recap on today in the Premier League so far, Brentford 3, Manchester United 1 a full-time score. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Chelsea leading Brighton 1-0, Crystal Palace ahead at home to Liverpool, Leeds 1, Bournemouth 1, Man City 1, Burnley 1. Ange Postecoglou's first home game in charge of Nottingham Forest gets underway at 5:30. Forest home to Sunderland, Spurs versus Wolves from 8. In the Championship, Coventry 3, Birmingham City 0, Swansea 1, Millwall 1, Wrexham 1, Derby 1, all full times, along with West Brom 1, Leicester 1 last night. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs, Hull ahead 1-0 at Watford, Norwich 1 up at Stoke. The leaders Middlesbrough are goalless at Southampton. Sheffield Wednesday leading QPR 1-0. Preston 0, Bristol City 0. Also goalless at Oxford between United and Sheffield United. Charlton leading Blackburn 1-0. In our main feature though, Ipswich Town 2 goals to the good and playing well against Portsmouth. Let's rejoin Mick Mills and first Brenna Woolley at Portman Road. Town hoping to build on that great home momentum, I guess, that they got the other Friday night against Sheffield United. But, they've started well in this one, brother.
Yeah, they have, and it's a game that they should, unlike should, in bold, go on and win for me, but nothing's a given, and they can switch off a little bit or go into their shells a little bit and take their foot off the gas in recent times in second half. Let's hope that's not the case here this afternoon, because this 3 points is certainly there for the taking. The surface has been well watered in the second half as Ipswich Town come out readying themselves, just going through their drills with a couple of members of the coaching staff down below us. It looks like it's the same 11 that started this game. 3 changes pre-kick-off. Greaves, Akpom and McAteer were out. Kipre, Eggerly and Smodix have come in. So Palmer is the goalkeeper. Off to our right-hand side is back for Furlong, O'Shea the captain, Kipre and Davis. Then it's Matusiwa alongside Kiyuste. Then through Eggerly, Smodix and a goal scorer, Philogene. And up front, Hurst, who got the second. On the bench, Walton, Jack Clark, McAteer, Akpom, Azon, Taylor, Young, Nunez and Johnson. We've seen if Portsmouth have made any changes. Doesn't look like it at the moment. So they'll have Bursick in all black off to our left-hand side, just jogging towards this Bobby Robson stand. This back four, Swanson, Knight, Poole, Ogilvie. Then a 2 of Dozell and LaRue, both on yellow cards. Then it's Koznovsky, Segacic and Minjuk in behind Bishop, the captain and striker. On the bench for the visitors, Killip, Williams, Devlin, Matthews, Bowitt, Pack, Swift, Bianchini and Kirk. It's going to be Portsmouth in the shape of Andre Dozell who gets this second half underway. Still lovely conditions, bright sunshine across half of the pitch. Dozell in it with his shirt flapping, his white shirt, blue shorts, white socks. Ipswich Town in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. As I said, Town playing from right to left as Dozell sends the ball off to the left, controlled by Bursick and then walloped forward. O'Shea's underneath it with a strong header straight under the chest of a Portsmouth player. Paul, who blatantly clashes with Smodics. That should be a yellow card. Smodics has gone down, it's a free kick, but that was his sole intention, to stop Smodics, because there was a chance of a break for Town there.
Yeah, definitely a chance. You know, we knew that George Hurst was in an offside position, but he wasn't going to get himself involved. Smodics, you know, would have gone in pursuit of that loose ball and probably would have got it.
Kieran McKenna making that point quite rightly with the fourth official, not having any of the explanation. But I 100% agree with Kieran. It should have been a yellow card. Free kick taken up towards Hurst. Matussi was on it, but then loses out. Town didn't make the most of that set piece. Matussi intercepts in midfield, gives it square to Smodics. Smodics comes in field just outside the area, runs into traffic, blocked away by LaRue. O'Shea tries to ping a ball forward. He's now in a sprint with Segicic, gets there comfortably ahead of him, plays it back to Palmer. Palmer side foots it to the left, and Kipre directly underneath us. Davis infield to Jens Kiyuste. In the first 90 seconds of this second period, Ipswich have it with O'Shea. Just to confirm, it is the same 22 players that started this game. Palmer out to the left-hand side. Davis misses it. Philogene gets on the ball though. He comes in field, the number 11, running away from the wing onto the centre spot pretty much before he gives it to Furlong. Furlong to Eggerly on the far side, a chance for him to open his legs and run towards the box. Leaves it for Furlong. In comes his cross, straight into the hands though of Bursick on his near post. He's lost the ball. He spilt it at the feet of Smodics, but then he got down quickly to block off his attempted poke towards an empty net.
Yeah, good sweeping movement by Town. The cross wasn't bad, just should have been a bit further away from the goalkeeper though.
Davis curls the ball back towards Palmer. Afterwards, have your say on BBC Radio Suffolk. We're out at 6 o'clock on match day. You can call 0800 141 2121, text 81333. Start this message as SFK. Also pop SFK at the start of your WhatsApps. They're to 08000 321 333. Palmer up to Hurst. Knocks to the ground, no, the referee says play on. Here is Koznovsky, little ball into the air, looking for Segicic. Kipre gets it away, rather improvised. Again, Kieran McKenna complaining to the fourth official. Kiyuste down the line, but away from Hurst. There's a lot more moaning towards fourth officials. They never used to at Kieran McKenna.
Well, I think that George Hurst actually threw himself to the ground on that one, and I think the referee got it right.
Throw in for Portsmouth live on BBC Radio Suffolk. Town away at Bristol City on Tuesday night. Norwich come here next Saturday. Then they go to Middlesbrough after the international break, before it's home to Charlton, home to West Brom, and then a trip to West London and QPR early November. It's the next little run of fixtures. Koznovsky trying to put it in behind for Bishop. Touched away by Kipre. There is Leif Davis at left back to Matussi. He goes back to Kipre. Kipre's ball looking for Hurst, won by Knight. Philogene then plays it off of LaRue. It's got a throw in down below us. Davis takes it quickly up towards Hurst. Hurst with a little flick header in field to Smodics. This has potential. Good play from Smodics, finding Eggerly one-on-one with Ogilvie on his full debut. The Norwegian's inside the area, as it goes deflected. Just over the top for a corner kick.
Yeah, beautiful sweeping move from the left side of the pitch to the right, and it actually gave Eggerly a lot of opportunity. He was sort of on a one-to-one with very little sort of cover around the defender, and he got himself a little bit of space, but the shot sort of hit somebody and gone over sort of the bar. But I think he should have done better, because he had a lot of space there on that one-to-one.
That's a kind of attack that Philogene's been scoring goals for fun from, coming in from the other side. An opportunity for Eggerly on his full debut. Davis in the sunshine, far left corner, with Ipswich Town's first corner of the second half, their fourth overall. They'll extend their lead to 3-0. In it comes, headed down and away, and as far as Philogene sets himself, has a go. This is an off target. Only one thing in his mind when that ball dropped down to him, and why not, given his recent goal-scoring exploits.
Yeah, it was a good shot. That wasn't a run and shot. It was just a control and hit it with as much pace as possible, because there was a lot of Portsmouth players charging out of the box towards him, but he sort of got a good half volley away, and it did have pace, just didn't quite hit the target.
50 minutes played as Matusiwa's header goes on to Koznovsky. Now it's Kiyuste driving in midfield, overrunning it though. It allowed LaRue to nip in there. Furlong though tidies up by getting it back to Palmer. We'll hear from Kieran McKenna, hopefully an Ipswich Town player before 6 o'clock on match day. Infield from Davis, finding Hurst. Hurst to Philogene. Philogene around the back for Davis. Excellent play down the left-hand side by Ipswich Town. Davis just about keeps the ball in. Yes, the whole ball hadn't crossed the line, and eventually the flag goes out. That's a real shame for Ipswich Town, because again, a lovely move down their left-hand side.
Very good, and probably, I would imagine he's kept that in slightly, but that's an awful decision for the linesman on the far side to have to make. You know, he's got to look through 2 posts. I think that would normally be okay.
Yeah, it looks like it's kept in. It really does from here. There's a replay of it. You don't know what you're doing is the chant in the direction of the man with the flag far side. Ball's out over his head into the lower tier of the Cobbold stand, through to Portsmouth and Ogilvie. Again, Kieran McKenna's in the ear of the 4th official.
He's actually becoming a proper manager.
Yeah, he is. He's moaning to the 4th official.
He was far too nice before.
Yeah, no more. Ogilvie throws it forward, one in the air by Matusiwa, not once but twice. Then Kiyuste heads it on. Egerly lets it go to Smodics. Smodics loops it forward, looking for Hurst, brought down by Pull, unorthodox fashion, but there was no blue shirt close enough to capitalise on that little bit scrappy play. Kipre throws himself at that challenge, but it comes down to LaRue in the centre circle for Pompey. Straight into the path of Swanson underneath us. With a long white sleeve top on underneath his short-sleeved Portsmouth kit. Up the halfway line, Knight finds Pull. Back it goes to Pull. Smodic closes him down. And now outside of his area, Bursick to Knight between the lines, good ball to Kosnovsky. Portsmouth have runners, Minhyuk's there, so too he's trying to get in behind, so too Bishop. Good block by O'Shea as Minhyuk tried to take the shot immediately. It's out for a first corner kick of the game to the visitors, 7 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, and I would say that's Portsmouth's best bit of play today, you know, and they've got in there. It's only great defending by Dara O'Shea, who's come across from the other side to get the block in. He's done well.
Corner kick to Portsmouth. 52.5 minutes played. It's their first of the game off to our right. Kosnovsky is taking it by the tunnel. Right-footed in it comes. Headed down towards the post. Palmer grasped at it and has held on to it, and he still has a clean sheet to his name.
Yeah, it's just this game is definitely where we've got to keep the level up, you know, and make sure we don't make any mistakes, and then it's our game. We just got to sort of concentrate and be good.
Davis down the line to Philogene, out of play. Not good enough from Davis on that occasion. Let's go back to Graham at 2-0.
Equaliser for QPR at Sheffield Wednesday 1-1, and for Stoke at home to Norwich 1-1.
Swanson, the through for Portsmouth. And Norwich play a day later in the week than Ipswich Town. Town at Bristol City on Tuesday. I think it's West Brom at Carrow Road on Wednesday. LaRue back to Dozell. Dozell rolls it from shade into sunshine. Now far side in that bright autumn light. Ogilvie's cross is a good one towards the far stick. Well defended by Davis, as Kosnovsky seemed to be keen to nip in there and embarrass him at the far post.
Yeah, it was a great ball in, and it really did test Leif Davis out. It's a difficult decision when you're the defender there. You're not sure whether you should let it go, but really what you should do is just make sure and just help it on its way. Just let the ball touch your head and send it towards this touchline. Don't take any chances.
Davis with this throw in for Ipswich. 9 minutes gone in the second half, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. No second half goals so far, just those in the first half from Philogene and then Hurst. The difference between these two sides. Dozell gets the ball from his goalkeeper, gives it to the far side, and Ogilvie. Dozell again over the top to Minhyuk. Across there will come O'Shea. There's only ever going to be one winner of that ball, and it was the Ipswich Town captain. Played for likes of QPR and Birmingham on loan. Dozell in recent seasons. His second season as a Portsmouth player. Given away by Pompey. Well taken by Philogene away from Swanson. Here come Ipswich Town. Philogene running with the ball. And he's knocked off of it. Can't quite keep his footing. After a little nudge from LaRue. Tried his best to do so, Philogene. But he was off balance, and the free kick has been awarded.
Yeah, definite free kick, but I don't really think he was sort of going anywhere in particular. He had a good opportunity to do it because they gave him possession of the ball and he was away. You know, I thought he could have done a lot better than he did, but he's got his team a free kick.
It was a long stumble from him. He did very well to keep his footing, covered a fair few yards when you thought he was going to go down now, and he just kept on going. Free kick to Ipswich Town. Davis is on it. It's over 30 yards from goal, off to our left-hand side. Fair few players shielding their eyes from the sunshine. Town trying to get what would almost certainly be a killer third goal in this second half to secure back-to-back home wins, and it comes from Davis towards that swings away from Bursick's left post and out behind without any trouble.
It's a poor free kick. You know, far too much pace on the sort of line that he's taken. Really, can't expect a teammate to get there that quick.
Bursick for Portsmouth as they try to somehow get themselves back into position to go on and get something from this game. Bishop beaten by Matasiwa. Then LaRue heads it down. Dazelle tries the flick on. Doesn't work out. Egley is blocked off by Ogilvie. Minhyuk should be robbed by Matasiwa. Again, well done by the town number 5. Kiyuste into the path of Davis, bombing forward from the halfway line in a central position. Tries to put it in behind for Hurst. Comes to Philogene, who tries to hit it first time. The idea was right. Trying to hit it into the far right corner as he looked at the net off to our left-hand side, but he got underneath the effort, and it was high over the bar.
Well, dare I say that I think he should have just done something differently than that. I mean, that was an obvious thing because he is very good at it, but I don't think there was a line there. You know, we're right behind it. I think that was going to need an awful lot of bend on it to get that round.
So it's possibly a change from the Portsmouth bench. Marlon Pack having a word or two with one of their backroom staff. Ogilvie brought down by Egley. Referee says free kick. Could have played on really. Minhyuk got the ball, but anyway, he made his decision. The whistle had gone. Free kick to Portsmouth. So yeah, Pack looking likely to come into the Pompey midfield. Maybe John Swift as well. Perhaps he's warming up on this near side. Over on the far side, the Portsmouth left, it's Bursick who bangs the ball forward. One in the air by Kipre. On it is LaRue, getting it back to the halfway line and pull. Now Ogilvie. Kipre is limping away from the challenge. Now back up on his feet. Portsmouth have it with Minhyuk down the line to Ogilvie. Infield looking for Dazelle. Cleared away though by O'Shea. Smodix tries to play it first time round the back of Poole. Looking for Hurst. It's come off Poole. And into touch. So again, those numbers 0800 141 2121. It's the phone number. Text 81333. So those messages SFK or WhatsApp 08000 321 333. Throw from Furlong towards Hurst. Beaten by Poole. Kiyuste, lovely change of direction, being held back by Segicic. The referee's played a good advantage. Egley on the right hand side up against Ogilvie, drops his shoulder, in comes his cross. Might be a chance for Philogene. Comes as far as Davis, just outside the area. Looks up into the box off to our left. Attempts the cross, comes off the backside of Koznovsky, out for a throw to Leif Davis. The electronic board is being readied for a change or two. And it will be from the visitors' bench. Kiyuste with this throw-in for Ipswich Town in the 60th minute. And it comes flat, good long throw, headed on by Kipre towards the goalkeeper, Bursick. As the quick kick, it's been hit against an Ipswich Town player. Going to be a retake for Bursick.
I think that was more the goalkeeper's fault than George Hurst's fault, you know, and the referee's gone in the direction of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's a free kick to the goalkeeper. Just head off the back of Hurst's legs. Yeah, Pack and Swift, two new midfielders coming on for Portsmouth. I mentioned in the first half that was likely to happen at some stage, at least one of them, given Dazelle and LaRue both been on yellow cards for a long while. Two battled hard in championship midfielders as well, Pack and Swift. Both back for second spells at Fratton Park. Connor Chaplin. Kiyuste loses the ball to LaRue. Here is Segacic up towards Minhyuk. Outside the area, it's Kosnovsky for Portsmouth. On the right-hand side, Swanson down the line to Kosnovsky. In comes his cross, volleyed up and away by Kipre. Flicked infield by Swanson. Back out to the right-hand side by LaRue. Kosnovsky has the ball. Philigine's challenge. Wins it momentarily. Swanson tries to pick his spot. The ball breaks towards Ogilvie, but Eggerly is there. He gives it to Furlong. Furlong gets it away to the far side. And out of play for a throw for the visitors.
Yeah, it's untidy at the moment, isn't it? You know, no team is really sort of stamping their authority on it. They're sharing the possession of the ball a lot. You know, there's a lot of mistakes being made. No, it's not an interesting game at the moment.
Segacic and LaRue are coming off to be replaced by Swift and Pack. Pack's more likely to take over from LaRue, and Swift, I would imagine, will play in a bit of a more advanced role in place of Segacic. Swift, former Chelsea youngster, made one appearance for them very early on in his career. Had a trial at Ipswich Town many years ago. Swift, he's been at West Brom in recent seasons, so he knows all about a lot of the players he's about to face. Pack kind of made his name at the likes of Bristol City and Cardiff. That's where we've seen him down the years. Club captain, was in the League One team of the season a couple of years ago, Marlon Pack. Chested down by Kosnovsky. Immediately on the ball is Swift, wide right. Low ball into the box from the substitute. Matosiva's touch is picked up by Dizelle inside the area. Dizelle goes square, headed up by Kipre. Lost, might be a chance in there eventually. Matosiva gets it away. Hurst battling up against Knight, both hold on to each other's shirts. Hurst's done very well. They hold on to the ball. Excellent play by the Scottish international. The man who made it 2-0 before half-time. Now he's running forward with the ball. Just bends it away from Eggerly. Bursik is out and belts the ball off to our left-hand side, the Portsmouth goalkeeper, way into touch.
Well, George Hurst had to be really patient there for him to be able to get his head up and see a pass, and then when he finally saw one, he actually misplaced the pass.
Davis with this throw in for Ipswich Town. 62.5 minutes played. And Mousinho is out of his technical area. Town unbeaten in the last 4 league meetings between these two sides. Portsmouth's last win here was December 2020, during the League One days. It's only 8 years since Portsmouth were in League Two. Of course, they were a Premier League club for a few seasons in a row. Won the FA Cup in 2008 and obviously qualified for Europe, playing the likes of AC Milan and co. It's been a difficult last decade or so, off the pitch and on it. On the floor is O'Shea, now back up on his feet. 27 still to play. Live on BBC Radio Suffolk Town, 2-0 up. Swift to Swanson. Knight to pull back to the goalkeeper, Bursik. Left-footed, he plays it centrally down the pitch. Kipper is there before Bishop. Swanson with a throw-in for Portsmouth. A massive amount happening in this second half, really. The atmosphere reflects that. Quite quiet, quite subdued. Here is Knight. Knight goes infield to Pack. Portsmouth having the centre-half area. Now up towards the halfway line. Knight showing a little bit of ambition. Gives it to Dizelle. Dizelle off the outside of his left boot goes back to Poole. Now Pack, who's kind of split the two centre-halves, to Knight. Philogene closed him down. Pack along the floor to Swanson. Town doing some good closing down now, pressing further forward with Davis. Pack through a little gap. Played by Knight. Ipswich Town deflect it back. Portsmouth switch things to the left-hand side. Ogilvie controls it. Held back by Eggerly. Likely to be a yellow card for the Norwegian. Straightforward decision by Mr. Kitchen.
Yeah, another sort of that's a sort of a modern day thing, the crossfield ball. You sort of group together on one side of the pitch, and then when you have no sort of future down that side, you just have a raking crossfield ball, and that one was good. It was on target, and Eggerly needed to sort of commit a foul to sort of stop the progress of the move.
Still 25 minutes to go in this game. Game which needs a bit of a shot in the arm from somewhere. Ideally not a Portsmouth goal. They've got this free kick though. 30 plus yards from goal. Dazal is over it, so to Koznovsky. Line of blue and white shirts, a couple of yards outside the area, off to our right. Into it comes from Dazal. Decent ball as well. Palmer goes up under pressure. Bishop tries the overhead. It wouldn't have counted. Palmer been impeded. Free kick to Ipswich. Let's go back to Graham. Still 2-0 Ipswich.
Watford now level in their match with Hull. The leaders Middlesbrough trailing at Southampton 1-0. Adam Armstrong.
Yeah, Southampton need another win. It's been a tricky period for them. Palmer has the ball for Ipswich Town. Just looking down, no sign of any imminent movement from the Ipswich Town bench. Although they've got Clark, Akpom, McAteer and Azon all out with the bibs on. Furlong can't keep the ball in play. Through to Portsmouth. McKenna's fairly quiet, arms folded. Down below us at the moment, it's John Marcinho who's having a calm word with the fourth official. Bursic passes it short along the deck to Pack. Pack gets up to the centre circle, then out to the left-hand side, picks out a pass to Ogilvie, who's waiting for the ball to arrive. Now he has it, he crosses into the area, headed away by O'Shea. He's been very sound at the back for Town. The header from Eggerly is kept in field by Ogilvie.
Yeah, I think we need freshening up a little bit. You know, we're just sort of... Portsmouth are not really doing anything with this possession, but they're getting too much possession for me. I just think we've got to sort of just take charge of the game again.
Free kick. Flags up near side for a foul on Dara O'Shea. Yeah, Cayusta's not gone on to have the kind of game I was expecting from him. The things he did early on were really impressive, but he's been fairly quiet since then. I thought as soon as the two central midfielders are on yellow cards ahead of him, he'd really get on the ball and run with it and do stuff for Town, but he's been relatively quiet. O'Shea, right-footed forward towards Davis, who'd made a good run, and the ball slides off the grass back to Bursic. Bursic underarm to Pack. Pack almost gave it to Smodix, just got it away from him. It's a backwards pass, it was unusual, it was a bit risky from Pack, but anyway, Portsmouth have it with Dazal. Dazal moves it to the halfway line and Swift out to the left-hand side. Minhute controls it, wants to have a run at Furlong. Eggerly comes back, the ball goes off of Furlong for a corner to Portsmouth.
Yeah, too much of this game now is down our south stand end. It's just an invitation for Portsmouth to maybe just create something and get back into the game. You know, we've got to be very, very careful.
Yes, and there's so often from Ipswich Town in the second half. Disappointing. At least no further goals in the second period. They lead 2-0. Corner kick for Portsmouth, and it comes from Koznovsky. Up with the two big number fours. Kipre won that battle. Air shot from Minhute. Schmodix hangs a leg at the ball, knew what he was doing. He finds Philogene on this left-hand side. Philogene has the ball crossing the halfway line. Holds on to it against Minhute. Not to the ground, but gets back up. Matthew Siwa infield for Cayusta. Cayusta finds O'Shea. Furlong of Ipswich to Eggerly, tight on that far touchline. Left-footed into the centre, but tumbling to head the ball back to his goalkeeper was Swanson.
Now that's when you really must, that crossfield ball, it must be clearly on before you try to deliver it. It's a long, long way.
Pack, sells Swanson a bit short, but Swanson's touched it on to Koznovsky, and this could be troublesome for Town. Koznovsky tried the early ball, couldn't bend it around Kipre, and it's out for a throw to Swanson. Final quarter of the game, as Clark looks like he's going to be coming on for Ipswich Town, so to Akpom by the looks of things. Maybe McAteer as well, let's see. Portsmouth down the right-hand side with Swanson. The ball's just stayed in. The referee's assistant couldn't have got a better view of it. He and Davis are tugging shirts. Eventually Swanson goes down. Free kick's gone Ipswich's way, though. It's going to be another change as well from the bench. Maybe Nunez has been called back by Kieran McKenna. It could be 3 or 4 changes now. I think it's going to be 4. Certainly Clark's coming on. Azon is coming on. Nunez is coming on. I think McAteer's taken off his bib as well.
Well, that certainly will freshen it up in number, as long as they come on and do the job. But it's a lot of changes, but we are just drifting into a spell where we're just giving Portsmouth a little bit of an opportunity here to get themselves back in the game, and it's unnecessary.
I thought Jack Clark last week in that final 10 minutes, if we'd played it, was the most likely player to get Ipswich Town back into that game. Looked very lively, causing Blackburn problems. Here is Furlong being held back by Bishop, completing his clearance. The ball didn't go too far. Pack for Portsmouth to Min Hyuk for the visitors. Tries to squeeze the ball through a little gap. Pack eventually gets on it. Now Ogilvie, 2-0 Town, live on BBC Radio Suffolk. If you want to get in touch with me ahead of Monday night's Blue Hour on BBC Radio Suffolk between 6 and 7, Brenner at bbc.co.uk is the email. Bursick plays the ball long downfield. Koznovsky's trying to embarrass the two centre-halves, but Kipro was alert and he heads it back to Palmer. I look forward to getting your thoughts on Ipswich Town's hopeful win over Portsmouth this afternoon, and the trip to Bristol City, and also how you're feeling ahead of the first East Anglian derby of the season. Obviously it'll be the final Blue Hour before Norwich are here in 2 nights' time. Pack to Min Hyuk. Eggerly takes it away from him. In goes Pack. The ball goes out to the far side, and Ogilvie overlapping his Min Hyuk down the left-hand side. Min Hyuk has the ball, tries to get into the Ipswich area, which he does, headed away by Matthew Sear, where the effort from Pack is driven not too far off target. It's come off a Town player. It's a corner kick to Portsmouth. I'm not enjoying watching Ipswich Town like this.
No, this has been a disappointing second half, and we are just giving them a chance. We really are.
Against a better side, they're going to get caught out. I mean, Derby got themselves right back into that game, but it's been a feature for a while. 2-0 at half-time. The game isn't won, they need to remember. Corner kick for Portsmouth, into the Ipswich Town area it comes. Headed away as far as Min Hyuk. He pulls it back, but only to Smodic. Smodic plays it beyond Swift. Tries to get it back onto it, which he eventually will do. Finds Davis behind him. That quartet of subs ready to come on. Davis bombing down the left-hand side, playing it forward. He saw where Eggerly was, but it hit a Portsmouth player. Smodic wins his header. And now it is back on the edge of the Portsmouth area with Pack to pull. Ogilvie now with the ball for Portsmouth. Here is Josh Knight. 17.5 minutes to go. Town definitely need this shot in the arm that hopefully these new players will bring. Davis touches the ball down and out. Finally, the changes can be made. Clark, McAteer, Nunez and Azon are coming in. Hurst is the first player making way. Obviously Azon will go up top for him. Eggerly's full debut ends after 28 minutes of the second half. If Davis has gone down off the ball at the moment, I think he's going to be all right. The other alteration is Kayuste, who's disappointed me this afternoon. For a player with so much ability, he looks so good in this game.
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. He's excellent first half, and then he sort of died a death in the second half, and he just hasn't. But it's the whole team, to be quite honest. They've just pretty much accepted they're going to win the game, and it's far too early to do that. We've got to sort of go and set ourselves up to really try and get a third one.
There's a couple of changes as well from the Portsmouth bench. By the looks of things, they're bringing on Bianchini, who's a French winger on loan from Swansea. Koznovsky's afternoon is over. And the other one is Mackenzie Kirk, a Scotland-born but qualifies from Northern Ireland. He comes on. Kirk scored a few goals for St Johnstone, well, actually earlier on this season before he made the move in September. Min Hyuk is the player coming off. Portsmouth playing the ball forward. So who went off for Town? Eggerly, Hurst, Kayuste. Who was the other one that went off?
Philogene?
And Philogene, yeah, spot on. Philogene's off. A certain starter on Tuesday night, Jaden Philogene, one would have thought. Azon might have a chance against Knight. Oh, Knight took a chance there. Azon with the fresher legs seized upon what could have been an opportunity. He wasn't able to quite get there, but Knight's heart must have been in his mouth. Belted forward by Portsmouth, touched down and out by Davis. Just over a quarter of an hour to go in this game. Swanson gets the rub of the green against Azon. Now it's back with the goalkeeper Bursick, closed down by Clark. Ogilvie loses the ball to McAteer. McAteer goes down, and a little bit of discomfort, but he's going to be okay. Free kick far side to Ipswich Town. Ashley Young just having a jog on this near side of the field. Nunez went terrific when he came on against Sheffield United a couple of weeks ago. Didn't see him last Saturday. He's on this free kick. So much talk about him in the build-up to next Sunday, no doubt. We know what kind of reception we'll get from both sets of fans if he starts, so if he comes on. Wouldn't bet against him starting at Bristol City on Tuesday night. Nunez on this free kick, and it comes to the box off to your left. It's a great ball. Fabulous from the Chilean, headed towards goal, tipped over the top by Bursic.
Yeah, brilliant ball in, terrific run, great header, and then also a great save as well, but terrific effort.
Yeah, good football all round. Difficult to see from the first action replay who the header was from.
O'Shea, was it?
Possibly, he was going towards the ball. O'Shea would have been one of the serious contenders. Still to score for Town, Dara O'Shea. At the moment they're heading towards his second win as captain. 14 minutes to go. The third goal now for Ipswich Town. It pretty much makes certain it's back-to-back wins. And it comes this corner kick from Davis, headed across the face of goal, maybe a chance for Smodics. Out comes out to Nunez, who rattles his effort high over the bar, but I don't think it would have counted. I think the referee had already seen a foul in there by Smodics on a defender.
I think there was also a foul on the goalkeeper when the ball very first went in. You know, whoever, somebody's just barged him out of the way and said, I don't want you to get involved.
So on a chat to make, 0800 141 2121 is the phone number. Match day now from 2 till 6. As I say, on Monday 6 till 7, the Blue Hour. And then on Tuesday night, we're on air from 7 for match night. I'll be at Ashton Gate for Bristol City versus Ipswich Town. And on Friday, we'll really start the derby build-up with the match day preview between 6 and 7 with Graham. And then, as I say, next Sunday, we're on air from 11, full hours worth of build-up to the Norwich kick-off at midday. It's with Pack. He gives the ball to his left-hand side and Poole goes back to Bursic, who in turn finds Poole once again. 12.5 minutes for Portsmouth to turn this game on its head. O'Shea's header nodded on by McAteer towards Azon. Azon heads it down, but he's offside. Flag was up early against the Spaniard. Obviously, so many players will be making their derby debuts next Sunday. Well, for both clubs, but I was thinking along the lines most likely of Ipswich Town. 29,141 the attendance for this one. Poole goes back towards Bursic. Bursic levers his ball over halfway. Headed on the far side by Kirk. Hit up into the clouds by O'Shea. Poole goes after it over the left back position. He just knocks it out of play under pressure from Smodics. And if he'll make way for Akpom in the closing stages of this game. Kieran McKenna understandably keeping one more change up his sleeve if needs be. It's a throw for Town, which is going to be taken by Darnell Furlong. Clearly seems to be first choice right back out of the likes of Johnson and Young at the moment. Both of the other two on the bench. Throw from Furlong, good long throw. Azon goes towards it, then it's hit across the face of goal, and out the other side by Kipre.
I'm not sure what he was really trying to do there. I mean, he's almost on the byline. He should have just sort of got it back into the danger zone rather than try and smash it into the roof of the net, which was almost an impossibility.
Lovely afternoon at Portman Road. Ipswich Town leading 2-0, Graham.
Watford now ahead against Hull 2-1. Could Sheffield United be about to get their first win and points of the season? They are one up this afternoon as well.
I mentioned Ashley Young, he's about to come on for Ipswich. The fifth and final change. He's going to get 10 minutes worth of action or so in this game. Furlong with a throw down the far side, header on by Azon. I wonder if it's just that concern over Leif Davis. He did go down when those subs were being made. Here is Davis. I won't want to take any chances with him, such as a shortage of left fullbacks, or at least specialist ones. Furlong playing it forward towards Smodics, who's peeled off to the right-hand side. Tries the early cross, blocked off by the backside of Poole, and it goes for a throw-in.
Lovely ball from Furlong, and
it is for Davis.
Should have done better.
Off will go Leif Davis, but he seems to be moving freely. Just had a little run a few moments or so ago, but sensible management from Kieran McKenna. Doesn't want to take any chances with Davis, who's in good form at the moment. The town need him against Bristol City and Norwich, Middlesbrough, Charlton, West Brom, other teams on the horizon.
I think Leif Davis must be relieved to come out of the Premiership, where he had so many difficult players to play against, and he's come back to a level where he can almost say to his opponent, well, you can defend against me, I'm not doing it in the reversal way. So he's got back into the attacking mould, and he's done really well.
Yeah, it's great to see him back, and nice to hear from him earlier on. Always speaks really well. Leif very honest and open. Furlong with this throw-in. Young's gone to left back, as you'd expect. Nunez crossed into the Portsmouth area, headed away by Poole, headed back into the box by McAteer. Away it comes from Portsmouth. Clark, thinks his first touch is coming on, can't do anything with it. Portsmouth happy to go long. Palmer will go across to the far side, and the ball's got enough on it to go out for a throw-in, which town, as you can imagine, aren't in a massive rush to take. 36.5 minutes played in this second half, which has been pretty devoid of excitement. Not a great deal of quality in it either. Rather a flat affair really so far. Furlong throws the ball over the top of Azon, won by Ogilvie. Portsmouth with Swift, lose out. Ball's out for a throw-in. Furlong quickly into the chest of Azon, then he plays it to the right-hand side of McAteer. Town coming forward, looking for a third goal. McAteer, the former Leicester man, gets inside the Portsmouth area. Ogilvie kept his eye on the ball well. Bianchini plays it away to Swift. Now Ogilvie. Kirk wants a first-time ball forward. Palmer quickly out of his area. Well spotted. It clears the ball up into the cobbled stand. Yeah,
good goalkeeping that. Really, really good. He spotted it early, and he was always going to be there first. Just looking at a stat that has absolutely surprised me now is that Portsmouth have now had more possession than Town in the game. They were miles behind at half-time.
Portsmouth have it at centre-half with Poole. Now goalkeeper Bursick. O'Shea loses the ball in the air. Young, the left-back, heads it forward over halfway, but it's won by Portsmouth. Swanson wants to take on Clark. Clark wins it for Town, but then it's out of play. And a challenge off Nunez. Swanson with a quickly taken throw-in to Swift, wide right, outside the Ipswich Town penalty area. Portsmouth still believing they can get something from this game. Bianchini's attempted cross is blocked by Clark. Young, forward, lovely ball from Ashley Young to Clark. Clark gets away from Swanson, leaves him on the deck. Nice play from Clark. He goes back to Kipre. Kipre bypasses Bishop, and O'Shea with a little drag back, toyed with Bishop. Furlong. Ball forward towards McAteer. McAteer's touch brings it infield, running towards the centre circle, gives it to Nunez. Nunez quickly to Clark. This is nice from Ipswich Town. Really nice football. The crowd appreciate it. Young on the left-hand side. Clark wants it short. Young instead goes back to Nunez. Infield to Kipre. There's Nunez, runs into traffic, loses the ball. Pack shoots from a long way out. He's spotted Palmer off of his line. Oh, he was not far away. Would have been a special goal. Great vision and really good execution, just not quite perfection.
We had just passed the ball around superbly, and then all of a sudden Nunez just takes a gamble on the ball, gets dispossessed, and the ball has almost been put in the back of the net from the halfway line. Very, very close.
Well, it was right on the halfway line. It was a great effort from Pack. Swung away from the goal in the end, but Palmer was about to be in lots of trouble there. Final 5.5 minutes of this game. Kipre back to Palmer inside his 6-yard area, gives it to Matusiwa, who turns it back to O'Shea in the penalty area. O'Shea wants to go on a run, then he plays it out. Furlong caught on his heels. Through to Portsmouth, who still feel, understandably, if they get a goal now, you never know. 5 minutes on the clock, so probably another 10 minutes worth of football at least to be played. Well, there haven't been too many stoppages in this second half. Ogilvie back on the ball for Portsmouth, wide left in front of his travelling fans. He overhits his cross. It's a poor one. It's out behind.
Yeah, this is one of those occasions where you think that if Town had offered this opportunity to somebody who were better than Portsmouth, they would sort of, you know, come unstuck. And, you know, today I don't understand why we have been sort of, well, not quite second best second half, but we're not really, you know, not fully at it. You know, we should really be looking to enjoy the game when you're 2-0 up at half-time against an inferior opponent.
Yeah, I found them quite annoying in the second half, Town, in all honesty. Matthew Seward to Smodix on the right-hand side, outside the Portsmouth area. Town do the lead by 2-0. Back the ball goes to McAteer. Matthew Seward gives it to Furlong. Bad a play from him. He apologises immediately, flings his hands up in the air. Can't believe what he's done. It's a throw to Portsmouth. Town won't be able to do this against a better side. Portsmouth so far, touch wood, have lacked punch. Ogilvie throws it down the line, headed infield towards Kirk. Quite a lean, tall player, Mackenzie Kirk. Not a play for another throw to Portsmouth, but it is something that Town have in their make-up to be like this in the second half. It's certainly not a one-off. There is Ogilvie, just shielding his eyes from the sunshine, throwing it back towards Poole. Knight gives it to Swanson, just away from Clark. Clark closing down. That was added to his game more and more, perhaps. Kieran McKenna was really pleased with the way he did that against Sheffield United. Azon with an important header back to Matthew Seward. Azon's not really had a sight of goal these substitute appearances so far for Ipswich Town. Furlong back to Palmer. Matthew Seward, edge of the area, just gets it and does very well. Matthew Seward under pressure from Dazelle, forward from O'Shea. Azon now has an opportunity, one-on-one with Knight. Azon, oh, hits the post. So close to a first Ipswich Town goal for the Spaniard.
It was a lovely strike, a beautiful sort of direction on it, just clipped the bottom of the post, the far post, but he does really well. He's in control of this, 1-to-1, brings it inside, and then this is a great little strike.
Really good effort. He was unlucky, just didn't quite have the bend of a Philogene effort.
A lot of quality about what he did there.
Left-footed over halfway from the goalkeeper of Portsmouth. Going to ground too easily, near side is Bishop. Well done, Kipre. Young goes back to his goalkeeper, Palmer. Pats hands with Matthew Seward as he does the former England man. Final 2 minutes of this match. That would have been a nice way to wrap up the win that had it gone in from Azon. Young puts one round the back for Smodix, offside. Great ball from Young. Shows quality, undoubted quality, with a couple of really good passes since coming on. Is Ashley Young.
Well, he is a good passer of the ball, and he'll always produce the good pass. He's as good as some midfield players with his passing.
Bursick, as we approach the final minute. Way out of his area, taking this free kick for Portsmouth. Kieran McKenna's thoughts to come. Hopefully those of an Ipswich Town player as well. Portsmouth making another change by the looks of things. Could be Matthews. Yeah, it is Hayden Matthews, who's a defender. On he comes for Josh Knight, who's clearly struggling a little bit. Young with this throw in for Ipswich. Goes towards Nunez. Nunez gives the ball back to Young. Young infield to Clark. Nunez picks up the ball on the halfway line, comes infield and tries to play it through the middle towards McAteer. Unlucky. Smodix was also there. Unfortunate for the former Norwich man.
Yeah, good attempt, plenty of disguise on the pass. You know, it's one of those ones he's facing one way and he's trying to sort of thread it through on another sort of direction, and it can confuse people.
Palmer picks up the ball off the toes of Kirk and goes underarm to Matthew Seward. Another full game in the tank of Matthew Seward. Just the 3 minutes of added on time to be played. Makes sense. Ipswich Town hopefully heading towards back-to-back victories for the first time in a fair old while. Swanson puts the ball out under pressure. Throw underneath us to Ipswich, who look like they are going to be winning this game by 2 goals to 0. Smodics held up by Pack. Pack goes to ground. Portsmouth still have the ball with Swift. Smodics challenges him and then shouts at the referee. Free kick to Portsmouth. It's Town's first away trip of the new year when we're at Fratton Park on the 4th of January, just before FA Cup third round weekend. Swift knocks this ball into the Ipswich Town area, headed up by Furlong. Ogilvie will shield it out behind for another corner kick to Portsmouth. Ipswich Town trying to hold on to another clean sheet. Swift with a corner kick for Portsmouth in the 2nd minute of the 3 added on at the end of this game. And he curls off to our right, it's headed in. It's Pack, the substitute, who gives Portsmouth a late lifeline. It's now 2-1 to Ipswich Town.
Yeah, there was, before it came in, Portsmouth had put up a really formidable sort of 6-yard box scene. In our box, there was full of big players, and you thought, well, that looks quite impressive. And when the ball came in, we had nobody at all who attacked the ball, you know, so we didn't offer any resistance whatsoever.
Smodics back towards O'Shea. It's unthinkable Town are going to go and drop points from this game, isn't it? Headed down by Matthews. It's a throw to Town outside the Portsmouth area, particularly now. The position where the ball is just 1 minute to play. So no second clean sheet in a row for Ipswich Town. It's given Portsmouth a little bit of hope, a little bit of reward for their efforts in this second half. The 2 subs that linked up to make it. Swift's corner, headed in by Pack. Wide on the left is Ashley Young. Plays the ball through a little gap. Matthews clears it out.
Just keep it in the corner.
Yeah, this will do nicely. Ipswich Town have the ball off to our left-hand side in the corner. At the end, they are attacking. And there's only 20 seconds plus a bit of added on time for that goal celebration to go. So the odds are still stacked so heavily in Ipswich Town's favour, thankfully. Clark has the ball, he's held on to it, he's done well, gets it back to Young. Portsmouth dig it out, final chance for them to get the ball forward. With Dozell brought down by Smodic, says the referee. Town carry the ball away, even though it's a Portsmouth free kick, but it's deep inside their half. This really is a last through the dice for Portsmouth.
Those all the big boys.
Not long by the goalkeeper Bursick. Play continues into the 4th minute of added on time. Portsmouth still believing and getting a most unlikely draw. The ball's now up in the clouds, up to the halfway line. Azon brings it down. Still no sign of the full-time whistle just yet. Now the referee does blow his whistle for the final time. And Ipswich Town will head into the East Anglian derby looking for a 3rd successive home victory. They've made hard work of it in this second half against Portsmouth. Portsmouth scored the only goal of that second period. Town leading 2-0 at half-time through goals from Philogene and Hurst. Have held on to beat Pompey by 2 goals to 1.
Yeah, it's not so, you know, we've got the 3 points and that will help us tremendously, but really what we needed was a performance to go with the points, because that would have really sort of picked us up lovely for the next couple of games, you know. We're sort of in a sort of a, not a hole or anything like that, but we want to sort of find some inspiration from somewhere, some, you know, something that makes us feel really good. And we had that because of the 5-0 victory against Sheffield United, and then we had the problems up at Blackburn. So we've sort of gone back into a little bit of a, you know, what type of season are we going to have? And then we have sort of an opening sort of half an hour in this game today against Portsmouth, and you, straight away you thought this is a great opportunity to get both the things that you need, and that's the points, the victory, the points and the performance. We got the points okay, but we didn't get the poor performance because from half-time we almost didn't have the desire to go and enjoy ourselves. You know, just get out there. You're in front, you're 2-0 up, you're playing against a team that are not really up to your standard. Just go and enjoy it. Get yourself some goals, get yourself some type of performance to take into the next game. But now we're sort of when we will now move into the game against Bristol, a little bit unsure again, which is what we shouldn't be doing. You know, we go down there. Yes, we will feel good about our league position having improved, but our poor performance level hasn't improved. So we'll have seeds of doubts in our mind that we shouldn't really have. You know, we sort of had parts of our game were good down the left-hand side, excellent. You know, we've continued that going. You know, the first half, the centre of midfield, both Matazua and Kajus got their game right. One was pulling short for the passing, you know, to get the ball to produce, you know, the short passing and the movement. And Kajus was twisting and turning and doing some terrific things further up the pitch, so that was good, you know, and really you just wanted a little bit more from everybody else. You've got to say Hurst got himself a goal, so you can't criticise him too much, but the Hurst-Smodics pairing wasn't as dangerous as it should be, and there's a lot of work to be done there. You know, you just felt that, you know, maybe the Kipri-O'Shea partnership, that's not been seen before. That's why that wasn't maybe as fluent as it should be. Down the right-hand side, definitely Furlong and Agelli have got work to do. So probably there's 60% of the team definitely with a lot of work to do, whereas maybe the centre of midfield is making progress. The left-hand side is without question already arrived. So there's bits that are good, but there's not the overall picture that you really want, you know, from this team yet, you know, and this was an opportunity to get it.
Yeah, it really was. At least, though, Ipswich Town have won this game, back-to-back games for the first time in a long old while, going back to the end of the promotion season. They have backed up the Sheffield United win the other Friday night with a 2-1 success here over Portsmouth this afternoon.